Hi guys. I'm not going live. Oops. I just announced that I went live to tell you guys I'm not going live today because one of my dear friends, STEFAN AARNIO, you guys might have known about him. Really successful businessman, entrepreneur, author of like 15 books, and a close friend of mine. He passed away from cancer at the age of 33 yesterday morning. So I'm going to take today. I hope you'll understand. I know you'll understand. I'm just going to take today to process this and grieve and mourn my friend's death. And if you know who he is, please go share some love on his page on Instagram. He was a freedom fighter. He was pro-Trump and pro-freedom and pro men being men and women being women. And his one of his biggest books was Hard Times Create Strong Men. And that man lived a legacy in 33 years. So if you can share some love, on this page. But we were very close, and we used to talk all the time, and I knew he was battling cancer. And he just he went out like a fire, like a flame. And he lived a life like a fire. And he was just such a good guy. He was crazy. He was wild, and he was very much like me. He was a wild man. He was a werewolf of a man, and I loved him very much. So I'm going to take today to just process and mourn his loss. I spent all last night crying, and I'm glad that I'm surrounded by love, and I have you guys, and I have Ryan, and we're just gonna veg out today, take things easy. And I just want to let you guys know so you're not waiting, but I just can't do a live right now. I'm just gonna process. But my good friend Stefan Arnio, such a good man, and gone way too soon. Gone way too soon. So I'm also going to spend some time calling his friends and talking to our mutual friends and just letting them know, because some people still don't know. It wasn't widely announced, and I only found out last night. But he passed away yesterday morning in Canada, in Manitoba, in his mother's arms at the age of 33. And he's impacted a lot of people. His legacy will live on. I talked to his business associate, best friend, mentee, and assistant in all things, Luke. And he said he's going to keep his legacy alive. And I know he will. Luke is such a good man. And I know that the whole STEFAN Arnio and Black Card University and all the books and the courses he was just so prolific in real estate, in and being an author, independent creator. And he was my friend. I was just planning on going to see him in Manitoba to visit him. Thank you, Jan. I appreciate that. I miss him a lot. He had a rough go of it towards the end, but he was strong towards the end. And he survived cancer the first time, and it just came back and took his life. And it's a terrible thing. I know a lot of you guys have faced death. I lost both my parents over 10 years ago, and it's not easy. I've dealt with death. It doesn't get really easier because it's still the loss of people you love. Thank you, Rashin. Oh, my brother. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm going through it, you guys. It's very hard. It's very hard for me to. I don't like feeling this way. Um, I, I think all of our first human instinct is to run away, is to hide. I say I'm like a cat. I hide when I'm sick or hurt. And, but I know it's something that's very human and very real, is to grieve and to mourn. And if I were to run from these feelings, they would only come back twofold, because I did love Stefan very much. And I was looking forward to being his friend for many more years to come. He was a fighter and a warrior. You guys probably saw him all over my Instagram feed, and we were just two birds of the same feather, if that makes sense. Two sides of the same stone. He was going through stuff emotionally that I had already processed and healed from, and so I could help him on that. And then business wise, he was far reaching like equal but different. You know, he'd done a whole bunch of things. Thank you, Steve. Oh, thank you. I lost my younger daughter 1 year ago last February. I can't imagine the loss of your daughter. So sorry, Steve. I will be back on tomorrow at 9 a.m. To talk to you guys. I'm really glad I did a video. I was going to just do an announcement, but I said, let me do a video because I know last time I took a day off, a lot of you guys didn't know, and I didn't want my Joy Tribe to be waiting and expecting me to go live and then not see me. So today is definitely a rough day. Last night was rough. It's never easy to deal with another loss of soul and body connection. This world is cut. Have hope. Oh, big brother. For reconnected again after this, like with mom and dad. Thank you, Rashan. Go rest and grieve to your needing. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Anya. Thank you, guys. You guys are so compassionate, and I'm glad I have you, you know, during this time to be hit with this loss. I wasn't expecting it. And I pray for his family, his poor mom and his dad, and his work associates who were like his family. They lived in his house. They threw events in Manitoba, Canada. He's my Canadian brother. He was such a good guy. If you don't know who he is, please look him up. STEFAN AARNIO. He is brilliant. Watch his videos. Read some of the excerpts. Read his book, Hard Times Create Strong Men. He was so good, and he would always cite Donald Trump as a leader. And his social media is now run by his team, but it's got some amazing content on there. And I don't just say that because he was one of my close friends, but because, you know, he really is good. And I have all his books. He signed for me. We went out to dinner the first time. He was flirting with me crazy. I'd just gotten divorced a couple months before. And the first time we went out to dinner, he didn't pay, and he's like a millionaire, right? And I was so offended because I'm always like, the man pays for a date. And so I was like, oh, he must not be trying to like date me. But my publicist was our mutual publicist at the time, set us up. And so I thought we'd be good together. And I realized quickly it's not a dating thing. I was perturbed. I was like, who doesn't pay for dinner with a lady, you know, if he's flirting with her? Like, I'm old fashioned. What can I say? I'm not saying like after you've dated for a while, you know, you don't start contributing, of course, but I'm old fashioned the first couple dates. So anyways, it was just, and he was wild. He was talking with the girl on the next table, and he started eating her chicken. He ate her chicken off of her plate, and he was flirting with both the mom and the daughter. And I was like, what is going on? Who is this motherfucker? Excuse my French, but he was a motherfucker. And then I just was like, what was that? And he's like, that was crazy, wasn't it? I didn't even control it. He was dealing with the energy he had, you know, the fame and the magnetism, the absolute magnetism of being a celebrity and of being someone who's just, he was very magnetizing. He was a werewolf. So sweet. 6'5", big beard. You'll Google him, you'll see the very clean-cut Wall Street looking guy. That was him, but he changed. He grew his beard out, he grew his hair out, he wears American flag sweater all the time, his warlock boots. He was a character and a half. Believed in God. Good man. Intelligent man. And I was like, you know, he's broken in ways that I've fixed in myself. So I used to just sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And he wasn't doing drugs, but he was still caught up in that. Like, you know, the women would just throw themselves at him. And I'm like, you got to maintain your energy, especially fighting cancer. You got to be able to, you know, throw that energy, self-care. And he worked so hard. That man never stopped working. He hustled, and he mentored people. He mentored so many people. Such a loss for everyone, Steve. He was only 33 years young. Jesus age. And he wanted to be a father. He wanted to be a husband. He'd been engaged before, but never married. And we had long philosophical discussions. Come over my house. I came over his place when he was staying out here in LA. I was planning on, he was going to fly me out to Manitoba and show me the sights, go to dinner. He became vegan. He's like you. But very quickly in the beginning of our relationship, I knew this was not romance. This was a soulmate, a platonic soulmate. This was not a romantic partner. And I fell in love with him as a brother, as a friend. And I was like, he's just wild and crazy like me. But he's also very successful and strong like me. He had a lot to offer. You couldn't tell him nothing. Stubborn like me. Remember, he was walking around this fancy place and he was barefoot. And I was like, Stefan, put some freaking shoes on. It's funny, I didn't intend on doing a live, but I think that God wanted me to do this, and he would have wanted me to go on. And we were so close. We were really good friends. We'd talk all the time. He'd always say, I love you. I love you too, Stefan. I became a little bit like his big sister in a lot of ways. Thank you, Chrono. And he was like a big brother to me. We're the same age, you know. Thank you. He was such a top bloke, Thomas. He was such a good guy. Hi, Stardust. Hi, kitties. My kitties are being sweet. Ryan's upstairs. He's taking a shower, but Ryan just held me last night. I woke him up. Some of my friend Stefan died. Died of cancer at 33 years old after fighting it for several years. He never was into pity. He wasn't a pity party person. Thank you. Oh, Steve. I'm glad I did this live too. And I'm glad it can help minister to a lot of you guys, because everybody deals with grief and loss. Even the pandemic has brought on a lot of loss, right? A lot of you guys can't go to work or see your family. I'm fortunate. I'm fortunate. I love you. Thank you, Cornelius. Thank you. I'm fortunate to have you guys. And to be loved. To have Ryan, you know. Stefan came at such a unique time in my life. And he left at such a unique time in my life. He always said, you're going to find the one. You need a strong man. You need someone to be, you know, you need a real man. He wasn't macho. He was masculine. He was tender and gentle. And he talked like this, don't you know? Canadian. The contrast of his wild appearance with his Canadian dad voice was just hilarious. Old Manitoba. What a character. I just can't believe he's gone. I'm numb. I'm shocked. I'm devastated. Thank you, Eric. I feel devastated. Thank you guys for my members, my channel, supporting what I do, for the tips. You guys are such good supporters. I really appreciate the tips and the memberships, you know. You guys contributing. If you want to be a member of this channel, it's $4.99 a month, and I'm going to do a lot of stuff for my members where I talk personally. Might have to do a grief series if you guys want to hear that, but thank you, Eric. Please subscribe and like and share this video if you think it's going to help someone. Sometimes you just need to hear that you're not alone. And I know I'm not alone, especially now, seeing you guys' support. And I'm glad I jumped on here. I wasn't going to do it. And here I am 15 minutes later. Thank you, Joe. We're going to all get through it. I feel numb. I feel heartbroken. I feel absolutely devastated. at the loss of my dear friend Stefan. Please look him up. Please watch one of his videos. They're all on YouTube. They're all on Instagram. He's a patriot. He's a good man. Author. A good friend. I love you guys. Thank you, Jalen. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 9. This is going to be tough. It's going to be a tough day. I have a lot of things I'm going to have to put off because I just can't right now. I just can't. I need to grieve and mourn the loss of my friend. I'll be doing a post on my Instagram with pictures of us. We went to the Bastille concert. I took a... We had a lot of fun. He's right here now. He's gonna touch my heart. He's right here. Love you guys. Stay safe, stay strong, take care of your loved ones. You know, life is temporary. So value this life. But I know he's gonna be big. I mean, I know he's gonna come back and he's gonna do big things. I know I'm gonna see him again. I know I'm gonna see him again. Bye, you guys.